Sunday's game against the Cardinals would set the tone for the Phillies in this series against the Yankees. Maikel Franco set the tone for the series itself and for himself in the first inning with a home run. Then later on in the ball game, Ryan Howard contributed with a single to center field. That was in the third inning. It was all part of a 3-run third. Cesar Hernandez then opened up his offense with this line drive base hit to right field. That scored 2. And then Maikel Franco launched home run number 2. This one well over 400 feet. And the Phillies walked away with game 1. Game 2, little different personality. This time he went the opposite way. A fly ball that just kept on carrying. CC Sabathia said, hey, listen, that is a bad 2-strike pitch to let him get his arms extended. And then Chris Young was able to lace this double down the left field line after the Phillies took a 6-3 lead. That tied the game at 6, but Maikel Franco hit by a pitch earlier. He had redemption, lining that double down the left field line to score 2. And the Phillies walked away with a powerful win in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Now, that's the best route to take to the ballpark today with all the traffic on the George Washington Bridge. We get set for Game 3, a little day baseball between the Phils and the New York Yankees here at Yankee Stadium. Well, a roster move after last night's ball game. This came as somewhat of a surprise to everybody. Chase Utley, who's been struggling this year, he turned his ankle during the offseason, hampered in spring training. The inflammation just was still there. They've decided to put him on the DL, and Darren Rupp, with a brand new haircut, has arrived at Yankee Stadium and is here today to play for the Phils. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Matt Stairs, looking good, ready to go. We get set for Cole Hamels' return for the Phillies this afternoon. I think a lot of people were nervous last week when Cole came down with a little soreness in his hammy. He threw a bullpen session, and everything seems fine.
Well, that's the key. It was a little soreness. It was a little twinge, nothing major. But, it's very important for him to have his lower half, especially for a guy, his last start, June 14th versus Pittsburgh. Dominated this game with an unbelievable changeup. Everything he threw from the first pitch, he ran in a little bump in the 4th inning, but he had to step his game up because AJ was just as good. Dominating with the fastball inside, keeping the hitters off balance right there. Just an outstanding game from first pitch to last pitch.
Well, you look at his splits from April, May, and June. The win-loss record is different, but a lot of the other numbers, Matt, are very similar.
Well, the bottom line is they don't score a lot of runs for him, and we all know that. The opponents average 188, 223, and 228. Unbelievable, keeping hitters off balance, and just not really. He's staying out of the middle of the plate, where earlier this season he was getting hurt with the home runs. Now he's hitting the corners, his changeup's moving, great curveball, but it's still a 2-seam fastball that I think is his best pitch.
No restrictions today as long as the hamstring is fine for Cole Hamels. All right, no restrictions also for Maikel Franco. Was hitting the hip last night. It didn't matter. He's back over at first base for the Phils. What a series he's had against the Yankees.
Well, he's had an unbelievable series, and the key is it's game of adjustments. Well, he has made the adjustments so far. The thing last night I noticed here, early in at bat on the left-hand side, this is a no-ball, no-strike count. He's upright more. Now all of a sudden you see on the right, it's a 3-2 pitch. He's making an adjustment, wider stance, which means he's going to use his hands. Now throughout the sequence, you can see he takes some very good swings at some fastballs right here. Fastball up in the zone, that's a ball he can hit out of the ballpark. All of a sudden now it's ball, fastball outside. So he's starting to get his timing down a little bit. Now he has a very nice swing right here. Fouls it straight back. Now this is where he makes the adjustment, a little wider stance. He sees the ball a little longer, and now he hits the fastball to right field. And CC says you can't let him get his arms extended. It wasn't that bad of a pitch because actually it was a ball. Just he's been swinging the bat very well. So it's a game of adjustments, and you can see what he's done over the last 5 games.
Incredible numbers. This 5-game hitting streak, 13 hits, 21 at-bats. His slugging percentage is through the roof, and 11 RBIs. This could probably be called the Maikel Franco show today because we've got some numbers to throw out at you during the course of this telecast that are absolutely mind-boggling. It is the finale of this 3-game series. Cole Hamels against Ivan Nova is making his return for the first time since April of 2014, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Well, last night the Phillies hit the ball, but they were also hit. How about that one to Hernandez? Man, that had to hurt. He said he was feeling good today. Jeff Francoeur right off the shoulder. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Budweiser, make a plan to make it home. And by Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. bridge to Yankee Stadium if you're a Phillies fan, because the Phils are riding high right now. They've won 3 straight, and their offense has exploded during those 3 games. Let's take a look at their lineup for this afternoon's ball game against the Yankees. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Revere, Hernandez, and Franco, followed by Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and Andres Blanco. Over in left field is Cody Ashley batting 7th. Carlos Ruiz back in the 8th spot catching. And batting 9th and playing shortstop, Freddie Galvis. And they'll face 28-year-old right-hander Ivan Nova. 2-2 last year with an ERA over 8, and then they shut him down because he had Tommy John surgery at the end of April. And those are the numbers, Matt, that he had in his rehab assignments in the minor leagues. Well,
he has a very good arm. His delivery is very free. It's nice and easy. You see the Budweiser scouting report. 90 to 94 mile an hour fastball, 3-pitch pitcher. And his last outing was April 19th, 2014.
Well, the first pitch to Ben Revere to start the day is taken up high, so we're underway. It's 1-0. Ben's had himself a heck of a series, 6 for 12 with 5 runs scored. Or I should say 6 for 11. 5 runs scored and a double. Fly ball, shallow left field. Chris Young stands his ground. And 1 out here in the first. How far can Nova go today? Well, Joe Girardi said earlier this afternoon that he thinks 90 to 95 pitches. He said there's really, he stretched out. He threw 87 in his last outing in the minor leagues. Yankees made changes again to their roster. They are playing today with 2, count them, Matt, 2 bench players. They have the backup catcher Brian McCann, and they have Garrett Jones, and that's it. Cesar Hernandez, he's also hit well on this series. Low, 2 balls, no strikes. Cesar overall hitting .248, 1 home run, 15 runs batted in, making his 29th start of the season. And it's not going to be his last. News came out after yesterday's game. Chase Utley placed on the disabled list with a sore right ankle. So Ryan Sandberg said that Hernandez, Blanco, mostly Hernandez, will get time at second base. Inside corner, 2-2. That one's floated out towards center field, and Brett Gardner will get back to the spot, make the catch, 2 outs. Well, Maikel Franco last night, after being hit by a pitch in his previous at-bat, the Phils and Yankees tied, and then bam, he hits a shot right past Chase Headley down the left field line. That scored 2, gave the Phils the lead for good, and he was happy. His hip was sore, Murph, but he was happy, and his numbers have been just ridiculous during this series.
You know what, Tom? He has been a lot of fun to watch since he's been called up, but this past couple of days have really been kind of historical. And to put it in perspective, let me give you some of the numbers that he has accomplished over the last couple of days. So back-to-back days where he has 5 RBIs. He's the first Philly to do that since the stat of RBIs started being recorded back in 1920. He's the first player ever to do that against the Yankees. Back-to-back 5 RBI games. Never happened against the New York Yankees, and he's just the 3rd rookie in the history of Major League Baseball to do that. Back-to-back games with 5 RBIs. It has happened one other time this season. Bryce Harper did it with the Washington Nationals earlier this year, back-to-back with 5. But in terms of being a young player and doing it in a historical setting such as Yankee Stadium, he's really making his mark and putting his name in the record books, guys.
Well, and you go back to the Cano part of it as he takes a curveball over his head. A curveball, not a fastball, curveball. You go back to the Cano number, the fact he's the last one to have 5 RBIs in back-to-back games. I mean, he was second in the Rookie of the Year battle. Now, a lot of people have talked about All-Star game for Franco, Rookie of the Year debate. Now, there are a lot of really good rookies this year, but it's going to be a heck of a topic to carry on if he can carry on these numbers as the season moves on. Fouls it back. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, and I also think that, yeah, he's been swinging the bat extremely well, but you have to give credit to Revere and Hernandez for getting on base.
Very true.
Giving him an opportunity to get some fastballs and driving some runs in. So he's been swinging the bat great, but I'll give some credit to the other guys as well.
down the right field line. Now, the other part about the Robinson-Cano number, the fact that Cano did it back in 2005, we're in June right now, and he played a little bit last year, obviously, but we're in June. Cano did it in September. He was kind of going down the home stretch at that point.
So he already had about 500 at bats.
He had a lot of at bats at that point. See his numbers overall. 3-2 pitch to him, and he pops it up right side. Perella, the second baseman, is under it, and the side is retired. So the Phils go down 1-2-3 in their half of the first. We'll move to the bottom of the first. Cole Hamels will make his return when we come back. Tosses out on the mound. Let's take a look at the Yankees lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. As Hamels continues to throw out on the hill. Brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Gardner, Headley, and Rodriguez, followed by Teixeira, Beltran, and Chris Young. And the bottom third of John Ryan Murphy, Didi Gregorius, and Jose Perella. And they once again will face Cole Hamels. Hamels 5-5 on the year with an ERA under 3. Well, Matt, we'll see how strong he is here this afternoon.
Well, and hopefully he's as strong as he was last outing, June 14th, threw very well. Yeah, but the thing about Cole is that he has all those pitches that he can throw for strikes when he needs to. You see the Budweiser scouting report, tops out at 92.1. Changeup, legs hitting 174, curveball 122, and the cutter 203.
Yeah, that's not good for the opposition.
Not very good.
It's very good for Cole Hamels. Brett Gardner 6 for 8 in this series. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. Gardner hitting .294 with 9 home runs and 37 runs batted in. Blanco in on the grass at third. And that one just misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gardner 4 home runs in his last 6 ball games. High chopper. Franco's got it. Says, hold on, Cole. I'll take it to the bag. And 1 out here in the first.
And that play right there, make note that pitchers enjoy when the first baseman tells him early that he has it. So he doesn't have to run all the way to first base. I know it sounds simple, but pitchers like to know early when they don't have to run to first base and cover first.
Chase Headley now the hitter, and Headley whacks it foul toward the Phillies dugout, and it's 0-1. So they don't want the put out.
Some pitchers do.
That was a curveball right there. Brian O'Nora is the home plate umpire for this afternoon's ball game. And you know what he's thankful for, Matt? That it's not as hot as yesterday at this point in the day. 2 balls, 1 strike. Left side, Blanco. Boy, the ball just died in the dirt, but he has plenty of time to throw out Chase Headley. So 2 away here in the first. Time now for the Nissan keys to today's game.
Well, key for me, the first one is make Nova work. His first start back in the big leagues. Try to get into a tired bullpen. Since we're in Broadway and New York, bring down the curtain. Let's get a sweep and go back home.
That's exactly right. Off day tomorrow, and then games this weekend against the Washington Nationals. 2 outs for Alex Rodriguez. He's hit in 7 straight games. And he is hit by a pitch. And warnings have been given out. Part of it's based on last night and the fact that Maikel Franco was hit by a pitch, and 3 Phillies overall were hit by a pitch. We wondered if there would be any kind of retaliation. There wasn't last night. Ryan Sandberg said today, he goes, I don't know if that was intentional or not. I felt like he was just pitching him inside. Joe Girardi did not comment about it. So Brian O'Nora is explaining to Sandberg why the warnings have been put out. Joe Girardi's waiting for one too.
This is just a cutter that got away from him.
With that said, I think there's a lot of people in the third base dugout that are going to applaud the veteran out on the mound for doing what he just did.
Absolutely. I don't care what anyone says. Last night, Franco got drilled on purpose. They're saying that he was pitching inside. It was the first pitch of the inning. And Brian McCann was set up middle of the plate.
Yep. So runner at first, 2 men down. Had a toss over. Last night Franco was hit, Cesar Hernandez was hit, and Jeff Francoeur. Now this is a red hot hitter. Look where McCann is. He's not set up inside there.
No, he's not. He's set up right down the middle of the plate. Big league pitchers do not miss that bad.
And a line drive out to the left field. That'll be a base hit. So Teixeira, who's back after the stiff neck, has a base hit to put runners on first and second. And now Carlos Beltran will be the batter. Beltran takes a curve, and it's 0-1. Rhino was saying today, so we want our guys to pitch inside too. That's what we want, because we don't always do it, but that's what we want. So he said he wasn't going to look too far into what happened last night. Hey, listen, we saw it with Cole, with Bryce Harper. Whether you agreed with it or not, he hit Harper during Harper's rookie season just to kind of send a message to him for one reason or another. I have no idea why. But Franco was smoking hot. Sandberg said today, he goes, listen, I remember when I played, there were times where I was hot and they hit me right in the back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But you also got to remember, too, back in the day, you could hit guys in the back and not get kicked out of the game or get warned. Nowadays, if you hit someone square in the back, you don't have to give a reason. You don't have to give a warning. You can kick someone out of the game right away.
He did say that.
And Brian Nora did the proper thing right here. He warmed both benches. Now it's over with.
2-2 to Beltran. Now, how much of what the managers did, Sandberg and Girardi, how much was that for show?
I watched it.
Yeah, because they basically anticipated that, wouldn't they?
I would hope so. I mean, now talking to Rhino, no.
Well, maybe not.
He didn't think so, but from Girardi, he's probably getting an explanation like why, how come now we don't get a chance to retaliate? Well, you had your chance last night.
Swing and a miss. He got him with a changeup. Hamels comes back after the hit batter and the single to left. Picking up his first strikeout of the afternoon. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. First changeup, I think, of the afternoon for Hamels. And we'll go to the second inning. will take place after the games on Wednesday, July 1st, Thursday, July 2nd. This year's musical track is recorded by the Philadelphia Orchestra. Tickets can be purchased anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by going to Phillies.com. Breezy day. Breeze is kind of refreshing. Ryan Howard will lead it off. And Howard loops one to right center field, and it drops for a base hit. Gardner left his feet, and Howard's on his way to second, and he's in there sliding. I'll give a double to Ryan Howard, his 16th of the year. That ends in 0 for 8. We had a great view of Gardner going after it, and I didn't think he was going to get it even if he dove for it.
I was kind of hoping he would dive for it because I knew he wasn't going to get a chance to get there. I wasn't even close. But good hustle by Ryan Howard to go to second base. That's where you just need to back off, play it on the bounce, keep a double play in order.
And now with nobody out, Phillies have a runner in scoring position. Now, runners in scoring position have been a hot button the entire year for the Phils. And their lack of success, well, going into yesterday's game, they were 14 for 25 with runners in scoring position. And they only added to those totals in yesterday's game. 0-1 pitch to Brown. Chopper right side. Scooped up by Teixeira. Howard goes to third. 3 unassisted. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Tyrone Johnson of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Tyrone will win $100. Here's Andres Blanco getting a chance to start for a second straight day. He was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs last night. Phillies were 4 for 14 with runners in scoring position last night. The Yankees played the infield halfway in the middle. Inside 1-0. $18 for 39 is not too shabby, Matt. Runners in scoring position.
No, it's not. No, that is not.
Toward first, smothered by Teixeira. Well, Blanco hit it hard. Even if the Yankees didn't have a Gold Glove caliber first baseman, that was a pretty easy play for most first basemen. So 2 outs.
Oh, he hits the ball very hard. Unfortunately, hits a very good first baseman. See right there, there was no way that ball was going by him.
Teixeira was out taking ground balls today early and taking batting practice. Joe Girardi was watching as Joey Espada was hitting him ground balls because they wanted to make sure that that neck, not fully healed, but at least healed enough. The cortisone shot was out of his system and he was able to play. One ball, one strike to Ashe.
Always told first basemen, block and shovel. You block it, you shovel it to the first baseman covering.
Yeah, he didn't even have to shovel it to the pitcher.
Nova's another good guy to face because he has a nice, easy delivery. He's tall, throws hard. As a hitter, you don't have to jump.
Popped him up on the infield. Foul territory. Teixeira comes running down. And the side is retired. So 3 straight putouts for Teixeira after the leadoff double by Ryan Howard. Middle of the second here at Yankee Stadium. Phillies nothing, Yankees nothing. weekly station with 20 minutes of nonstop news, weekdays at 4 p.m. NBC 10. Count on it. With the storms that were rolling through the area yesterday, you needed to be right around your television to watch the news and watch the coverage because it was dangerous. Bottom of the second inning. Chris Young, John Ryan Murphy, D.D. Gregorius to lead it off. Beautiful day. Bright sunshiny afternoon. Yankees head off on the road after this. The Phillies head back home. Off day tomorrow. Chris Young 3 for 8 in the series so far. And the first pitch to him is up high. 1-0. Little loop over first. Franco on the run. He can't get it into foul territory. Just wasn't hit high enough. Although the way things are going, you expect he's going to get everything in this series.
Tough play. I mean, like you said, Tom, he is playing a little shallow at first base, but every time Franco goes after a ball, you expect him to catch it. That one there, no chance.
He's in that kind of mode right now. Yep. 1-1 strike to Young. Inside. And it's 2-1. He will move over to third base on Friday night when the Phillies are back home.
But I will say this about Maikel Franco is that great kid, talks to everybody, will do all the interviews. He needs to start saying no.
Up the middle, base hit for Chris Young.
You got to start saying no to a few interviews.
I think he's embracing so much of it though right now. So a base hit for the Yanks to start the second. Well, last night here at the ballpark, it was a who's who behind home plate. You had Mini-Me, Vern Troyer, and right down there, right where that gentleman, next to the gentleman with the blue hat and the gentleman with the Phillies hat, was Lorne Michaels and Jimmy Fallon. We tried to get Murph to go over and get a selfie with Jimmy Fallon, but security would not allow it. Very disappointed. I know Murph was.
Yeah, very disappointed.
Very disappointed.
I was.
And you know, he took 1 million photos, Murph.
Yeah, I know. You're making me feel worse.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to make you feel worse.
Okay, good.
You did everything you could to get down there and get your photo taken with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. I know that Paul O'Neill from the Yankees broadcast team was able to get down there.
He did.
He also won 4 World Series with the Yankees. I think that probably helped.
He told me today, he said, yeah, I didn't know if I was going to get fired or I was going to get applauded for doing it. I said, well, you were going to get applauded no matter what you did.
Murph, you got better hair
than Paul O'Neill?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
1-1 is in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, I know you felt bad about it, Murph, and I know if Jimmy would have seen you during the game, then he would have obliged that opportunity to take a picture with you.
Yeah, I'd like to think that he would have. You know, colleagues at NBC and all.
Absolutely.
Practically buddies.
I heard you guys are really good friends.
Yeah, I like to think so.
2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I think there'll be plenty more opportunities for you to get a photo taken with Jimmy Fallon. In fact, when next time we're here in New York, maybe we should get our buddies from the Roots to maybe set that up.
Well, I'll tell you, if I ever do get the opportunity, you two will be the first to see it, and we'll share it with everyone as well. So I look forward to that.
We would hope that we would be with you.
I have to say that the fans in Philadelphia via Twitter really wore Jimmy out last night, tweeting
so
at him.
Great. I was hoping you were going to get a response from him.
You know, he must have gotten a couple hundred different tweets regarding getting a picture taken with me. He probably can't stand me already.
I will say the photo that Paul O'Neill did take, the selfie, was outstanding. And Rudy Giuliani in it too. Inside and low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. John Ryan Murphy catching today, 1 for 5 in this homestand. Didi Gregorius is in the on-deck circle. Runner goes, pitches hit foul. And it remains full 3-2. Really making Hamels work out here. It was true, though, about the reports that Mini-Me Berntroyer did stay longer than Jimmy Fallon, stayed for the rally. Little toss over to first.
That's because Mini-Me was enjoying the popcorn.
Free popcorn downstairs. They were giving it out when we were leaving last night. Runner goes, pitches low, ball 4. So that puts runners on first and second. And Didi Gregorius is coming up. Well, we do know that Paul O'Neill did get his photo with Lorne Michaels, Jimmy Fallon, Rudy Giuliani. He got that selfie. But Murph was holding out on us. He was able to catch up with Jimmy Fallon at one point later on at a dinner that the two were part of. Nice tuxedo. Then they went out for some cocktails afterward. And this is a throwback with Jimmy Fallon's wife and then also Tina Fey. And then earlier today they rode to the game together. Jimmy peeled off and went to prepare for whatever it is he's doing today. I don't know if the Late Show is on tonight. The Tonight Show, not the Late Show. It's the Tonight Show.
Which is on later tonight.
1 ball and no strikes. Can't believe he was holding out on us on that one. Gregorius bunts off the plate. Ruiz lets it bounce. He's going to have to hurry. They're not going to get the runner. And the bases are loaded.
A couple of things very interesting. This is a bunt off of home plate straight up. Chris Young thought it was a pop-up. So if Chooch would have known that or had someone yelling to him, he would have had an opportunity to throw to third base because Chris Young was frozen at second base. That's just a bad bunt that turned him to be a base hit.
And now the bases are loaded.
If you watch Young at second base, he freezes because he thinks it's in the air. Now he sees the ball's going to drop. Now he goes to third base.
That's interesting. And with a force play, would have gotten him pretty easy. Perella tries to check his swing. They appeal. No swing, says Alan Porter. One ball, no strikes. Little dribbler over to third. Blanco bare hands, throws home, and it's a one-hopper off the glove of Ruiz. 1 run is in. Coming home is John Ryan Murphy. He'll score. It's 2-0. Yankees on top. That would have been a spectacular play if he was able to make it at home.
Yeah, he makes a very nice play on the bare hand. Full speed. It's that throw right there. If he makes a strong throw all the way in the air, he's out of the home plate. But bare handing that ball like that, the ball was caught back in his palm a little bit. That's the reason why he couldn't get a whole lot of throw on it.
Well, they will charge 1 error to Andres Blanco, and that's to allow the second run across the plate. It'll be his 3rd error of the year.
Gardner takes lot. 1 ball, no strikes. It is a fielder's choice for Pirela. And he gets 1 RBI on that. So the Phillies down 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. Outside, 2-0.
Well, Cole's having a hard time right now finding the strike zone. You see the splits right there, 19 balls and 16 strikes. Last time he was on the mound was June 14th. You'd think one start wouldn't affect it, but sometimes it does.
That one's on the outer edge, 3-1. Toy to Major League Scoreboard. Marco Estrada has a no-hitter for Toronto through 6 innings.
Didn't he just have one through 8 innings his last outing?
Boy, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Nate Carnes, the starter for Tampa, had a no-hitter for a good portion of his outing too. He's now allowed 2 hits. He had a no-hitter through 5. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Gardner.
I'm pretty sure Estrada had a no-hitter going through 8 innings. And a pinch hitter got a knock and broke it up.
Gardner stays alive. He lips it foul. Gardner is hitting .455 against the Phillies during his career. .455. A lot of that damage has been done in this series. He's 6 for 9 in this series alone. Swing and a miss. He gets him with a changeup. Second strikeout for Hamels. So 1 gone here in the second. And that'll bring Chase Headley to the plate.
This is a very good pitch right here. Down the zone changeup. Thinking you're getting that fastball. Get the old equalizer. Changeup.
Phillies will keep the infield in, down 2-0 here in the second. Curveball. Didi Gregorius is over third base, and Pirela is at second base. Over to third. Blanco's got it. He's coming home. This time it's a clean throw.
Run him all the way.
They've got Gregorius in a rundown.
Run him all the way.
Third base is occupied, so they apply the tag. He's out of the baseline anyway. And the runners advance. So they probably could have kept Headley over at first base if they had done what you had said, run him all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the situation. I mean, it's one, you gotta look at who the base runner is behind him. You know, he does a nice job. Blanco does a nice job giving a strong throw right here, getting rid of it early. Now you just run him. All of a sudden, you're going to have 2 guys going back to third base. Just go ahead and go back there and tag him. That way you can keep Cole out of the area. But give credit right there. He stays the rundown long enough to get ahead of the second base and have 2 guys in scoring position.
And now Rodriguez hit by a pitch his first time up, and he fouls it back. It's 0-1. Ball, 1 strike to Rodriguez. This is a 28-pitch second inning for Hamels. 43 overall. Two balls, two strikes. And he lays off the changeup. It's 3-2. You have Teixeira waiting on deck. Three full counts for Hamels in the first 2 innings.
For this pitch right here, I'd call timeout and I would go out and change the signs just so Headley cannot give away pitches.
That's a cutter, and now the bases are loaded. During the 2015 season, Turkey held the official ice cream of the Phillies. Will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Well, Hamels needs to make a pitch here against Teixeira. Not only to get out of this inning, he's thrown 47 pitches overall. A lot of curveballs here in the first couple innings.
Yeah, he's done a lot of curveballs. In his cutter, he's kind of pulling real bad. It's almost breaking like a slider. So he's getting underneath the ball a little too much.
Got the bases loaded. Perella at third, Headley at second, Rodriguez at first. That one's hit towards shortstop. Take it on a couple hops by Galvis, and the inning is over. The Yankees do strike first, though. They get a couple of runs. A little sloppiness by the Phils here in the second. We'll move to the third. Yanks up 2-0. Fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, here you go. Who holds the all-time record for most home runs by a switch hitter? Most home runs by a switch hitter. Answer will be revealed a little later on. Phillies down 2-0 as we get set to go to the top of the third. Brian Onora is chatting with Jeff Kellogg, the third base umpire, about what we do not know. He's not heading over to either dugout to explain it, so we'll just keep an eye on it. I don't think there's anything. I wonder if there's anything physically wrong with Onora. Carlos Ruiz will lead things off. Carlos has not played in this series. Hitting .227, no homers, 11 runs batted in. 0-1. The Yankees, you have to be happy with the first 2 innings from Ivan Nova, even though he left to run over a third in the last inning. Oops. It's probably the worst curveball he's thrown in the first 2 innings plus. Well, second worst because he threw the one over Franco's head. Forgot about that one.
When Nova was healthy, this is basically what you're going to see. He was a curveball, fastball guy. Mixed in a changeup once in a while.
Yeah, back in 2011, he won 16 games. ERA of 3.70. Carlos checks his swing. It's 2-2. And there must be something about his style for teams that haven't seen him that often, because he's 7-1 in interleague games during his career. Two balls, 2 strikes to Ruiz. Fly ball to center field, and Gardner moves back a few steps. This Sunday, when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals, it's the end of a 3-game series, and also for fans 14 and under, you'll get the Fanatic alternate style jersey, compliments of Pico. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Remember, 1:35 on Sunday, 3:05 on Saturday. Freddie Galvis, .259 hitter, 3 for 10 in the series so far. And a breaking ball over. It's 0-1.
Does Michael Jack Schmidt know it's a 3:05 game on Saturday?
Yes, he does. Yep.
Now I do. Thank you for telling me.
Inside again, 2 balls and 1 strike. Phillies have scored 22 runs in the first 2 games of this series. Ground ball foul past Samuel. 2-2.
Kind of seems like the buzz around the ballpark is a little tired today.
A quick turnaround for those that have went to last night's game. Came back for today. Still another good crowd.
Oh, very nice.
That one's down the left field line. Chris Young's got excellent speed. He'll get to the area and make the catch. 2 outs. Back to the top of the order. Ben Revere's coming up. It's time now for our Geico quote of the day. Ryan Sandberg on the contributions of the young players it's great to see. They bring a lot of energy on the field. They're playing good baseball, building rallies, and running the bases, and playing good defense. A lot of good stuff. Well, we've seen offensively, Murph, the last few days that good stuff has resulted in a few good wins.
You know, Tom, good stuff. I'd say really good stuff, at least over the last 3 days when you talk about some of these young players. So we're talking about the guys that are, in their 20s that are still trying to make a name for themselves at the major league level. Well, they've really gotten the job done over the last couple of days. In fact, over the last 3 days, offensively, take a look at the numbers. 37 for 88, a batting average of 420, 28 runs, 21 RBIs, 8 doubles, and the 4 home runs. I mean, it's guys like Franco, who's 9 for 13 with those 6 runs and 11 RBIs in that time period. Cesar Hernandez, 6 for 14. Ben Revere, 9 for 13. All those numbers coming into today's game. So these are the guys that are contributing. There's 8 of them that have gotten regular playing time over the last couple of weeks, and those are the numbers combined for all of them. So it is certainly good to see. I know the Phillies organization certainly likes to see their young guys producing. They've been able to do just that. There's another base hit.
Yep.
One of those guys.
Yep, Ben Revere leaks one right into center field. That's his 7th hit of the series.
And Murph, you made a great point, since the organization has to be very happy with what they're seeing. It wasn't going to be something that was going to happen very quick. They had to get their feet wet first, get that confidence, get the opportunity. Now they feel like they belong here, and they're relaxing and do not have to try to do too much to impress everyone with one at bat.
And it's certainly something that is making the a lot of Phillies fans in Yankee Stadium. There are a ton of Phillies fans in Yankee Stadium today, making those guys happy as well. In fact, I got a group of about 50 in front of me right here, Philadelphia firefighters and their families. So, yeah, say hello to all of them. What a great view we've got from up here, too.
Looks like it's a great view. You're out by all those retired numbers. Now, the official retired numbers are in Monument Park, but there's a sort of a duplicate for the fans to see up where you are right now. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Those are all the section, the bleacher section. There's the normal bleachers out in right field. Those were from the old ballpark. They've kind of carried that personality over to the new ballpark. And then there's another set which is right in front of where Murph is standing. 1 ball, no strikes to Hernandez. Up high, 2-0. Boy, Murph, get into the shade.
I was out there for 1.5 minutes. That's enough.
Up high again, 3-0. Maikel Franco is on deck. And ball 4. So Phillies have 2 on with 2 outs here in the 3rd. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Bill, Angel, and Will are all here calling today's ball game. A couple booths down next to Larry and Scott. Well, Franco has carried a lot of the burden during this series. Let's see if he can continue to carry it as he bats here in the top of the 3rd. .317 with 10 homers, 29 runs batted in. He got a fastball to start the at-bat. Surprise, surprise.
Best fastball of the day at 95.
That one's popped foul behind home plate, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Did that ball bounce up into Scott? There was a couple baseballs in the radio booth before. Check swing. Did he go? No, says Alan Porter.
Fransky must have been showing L.A. the proper grip of how to throw a fastball.
And then
Not the slider.
Larry reciprocated by showing the slider.
Slider grip.
I wonder who that guy's talking to behind him. Oh, Joe Girardi's coming out to argue with Alan Porter. He's going to get thrown out of this ballgame if he hasn't been already. Cannot argue balls and strikes. He must have been thrown out already, because why else would he come out toward the field? So I would think he's already been ejected. Yep, Brian O'Nora is making a note. Robbie Thompson. Robbie Thompson has been given the lineup card. Here's the check swing.
Not even close.
No, he didn't go.
Not even close.
I have to admit, over the top here, initially I thought he did go. When he said no, I thought, it's interesting. But looking at the replay, it looked like he held his swing.
Yep. Good call.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Franco with runners leading off first and second. And that time he went. And the side is retired. So first strikeout for Nova. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. We played 2.5. We'll move to the bottom of the third. Yankees lead it 2-0. Double cheeseburger, small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery, benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. Perfect cat to wear on a day like this. We begin the bottom of the third. Carlos Beltran takes a strike. It's 0-1. Going over some of the Yankee numbers, career numbers against the Phillies. We talked about it last night. Beltran, 30 home runs, 94 runs batted in. Lifetime .267 hitter against the Phillies. Brian McCann, not too shabby as well. .276 with 21 career home runs and 81 runs batted in. Off the foot of Beltran. Hamels got him with an off-speed pitch for his first strikeout back in the first inning. Shatters his bat. It goes foul. Bat stays fair. And torpedoes out toward the hole at shortstop. This is when Joe Girardi was ejected for the ball game. He was told to stay in the dugout, and he kept on yelling, and that's when he tossed him.
Joe didn't have that much fire when him and I were teammates. He was a quiet guy.
Out to left field, Kodiashi makes the catch and one away. Well, an update from Tampa. Marco Estrada is now perfect through 7. Saw Max Scherzer the other day. Was perfect with 2 outs in the 9th. Hit Jose Tabata
on an 0-2 pitch.
On an 0-2 pitch. Wound up with the no-hitter, but not the perfect game. And now Marco Estrada, all change-ups all the time.
And his last outing, he gave up a hit in the 8th inning, first hitter, to lose his no-hitter.
He's not the kind of guy you would expect to have no-hit stuff, particularly for back-to-back games.
No.
Chris Young takes inside. It's 1-0. Sure what happened with that one. About 3 feet in front of the plate. Hamels has 2 strikeouts today. His strikeout rate this year is the highest it's been during his career, which is remarkable to think about. He strikes out 26.6% of the hitters he faces. So 103 of the 387 hitters he faced coming into this ball game, he struck out. And his strikeouts per 9 innings. As that one is hit out toward left field. Ashe on the run, and he reaches up at the last minute and makes the catch. 2 outs here in the 3rd. Boy, I didn't think he was going to get there. I was wondering what was going on because it was going deeper and deeper. Oh, nice running grab by Kodiashi.
Well, by far the best play he's made so far. That's why that's going to be our defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai. There's a long way to his left, over the shoulder. Advantage of having a 399-foot yard to run balls down. So very nice play by Kodiashi. Good concentration, nice leap, good timing.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Well, you mentioned it the other night how much ground there is out there. It's the biggest part of the ballpark.
It all started with his jump. Good technique. Open up that left hip. Take off to your left.
John Ryan Murphy up for the 2nd time, and he fouls it away. He walked his first time up and scored. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The backup catcher for the Yankees. Good pitch. And a called strike 3. That's a dandy of a curve, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels. 3 strikeouts for Hamels. Well, this was his best inning by far. A little help from Kodiashi along the way. providing amazingly low prices on kitchen disposables, consumables, small wares, and so much more. From your new restaurant partner, who but WB Mason. Cody Asher made a nice running play to help Cole Hamels get through the bottom of the third. So now as we go to the top of the fourth, it'll be Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and Andres Blanco.
Well, we talked about it a second ago. I like the initial jump. It's something where all of a sudden he opens up that hip and gets a little love from Hamels. And one thing about left field right now is you got to fight the sun as well. It's the sun field.
Howard takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. He went on that one. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. They asked for help from the third base umpire, Jeff Kellogg. Howard had a looping double to right center field his first time up. Brett Gardner left his feet, and Howard was able to extend a single into a 2-base hit. Ground ball into the shift. Perella out in shallow right field has it, and 1 away. Well, before the surgery, Ivan Nova 38-20 with an ERA of 4.04 in 2010 to 2013, and then in 14, it's not that they thought something was wrong and something would need to be surgically repaired, but his numbers in 4 starts were not very good. What they tried to talk to him about during his rehab was they wanted him to be more aggressive against the opposition. They felt like he had lost some aggressiveness. So Gil Patterson, who's part of the Yankees player development staff, sat down and went over that with him for the year or so that he was out rehabbing. Out to center field. It's not that deep. Gardner started back, now comes running in, makes the catch, 2 outs. On the road traveling and want to watch the Phillies? Subscribe to MLB.tv Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. That's a beautiful setting right there. Here is Blanco with 2 outs, and he takes upstairs 1-0. Another fly ball. Brett Gardner this time goes back. He's under it. Easy 4th inning for Ivan Nova. Well, he's done a nice job. He's allowed just 2 hits so far. He's retired 4 straight. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th here at Yankee Stadium. Of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Budweiser, still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. And by the Quality Plus Sports Stores. Go further. Bottom of the fourth inning, and the Yankees lead it 2-0 over the Phillies. There's a lot of red in the stands here today. Murph pointed that out in left field. Those folks are in the general seating area down the left field line, just inside the pole in fair territory. And as we start the bottom of the fourth inning, it'll be D.D. Gregorius who will lead it off. Gregorius checks the swing, doesn't matter. Pitch is called a strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
Be nice to see Cole have another quick inning right here. Pitch count 66.
Yeah, if you think about a 15-pitch inning, then he's well above the average right now through 3. That's 66. Actually, he's well above the average for 4. That one's popped up. Freddie Galvis out at shortstop, shading his eyes, and he doesn't see it. You know, the shame of it is I think Cody Ashley saw it the entire time, and Freddie just couldn't get it into the sight, get it out of the sun where he could line it up. Well, they're going to wind up scoring that a base hit.
Well, it's a tough play right here, knowing that the ball's in that sun. The only way you can do it different is if you back out to the right or left and come in at a different angle. See, right there, he knows the ball is coming down through the sun. Well, take 5 or 6 steps to your left, change the angle to the ball, and hopefully that works.
Yeah, I do think Ashley saw it coming in, but at that point, I think he thought Freddie had it. And great job by Gregorius. I mean, that's hustle right there to get to second base on that. I mean, he's fast, and he just kept on going. So they did score that a double. Well, that one didn't roll all that far. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, Logan Forsythe's infield hit, which was reviewed, breaks up the perfect game for Marco Estrada in the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Donaldson made one of the best plays you'll see a third baseman make, any player make, on a foul ball. He caught in the stands, basically, leaping into the stands just prior to that. So Marco Estrada, for the second straight game, loses a no-hitter and loses a perfect game in the 8th inning. Again off the glove of Carlos. Ball 4. That looked like a pretty good pitch. I don't know what's going on with Carlos behind the plate here today. That'll put runners on first and second, and Brett Gardner is coming up. Well, Murphy's 0 for 2 today, but this guy's had himself one heck of a series.
You know, you talked about what he's been able to do, Tom, against the Phillies, not only in this series but in his career. You're right. Cole Hamels has done a pretty good job against Brett Gardner, but you know, the conversation, at least in our car last night driving back to the hotel, was, you know, you have to mix up the approach a little bit on this guy because he was just killing them, hitting fastballs all over the ballpark. 6 for 10 in this series, 4 runs to 2 home runs, a double as well. And you mentioned lifetime 10 for 24, lifetime batting average of 417 against the Phillies. So he likes what he sees when he's taking on the Phillies. But as I said, Cole Hamels has done a real good job so far, kind of keeping him in check, and this is a pretty big spot in this ball game.
Yeah, because it's 2-0 right now, and you've got nobody out. And Gardner, who has 4 home runs in the last 6 ball games, Now, you talked about having a quick inning maybe, Matt, but he's at 8 pitches already with nobody out here in the 4th and 72 overall. One ball, one strike. Joe Girardi was saying before the ball game, he was asked about the impact that Gardner's had. He said, well, listen, we've seen it before, but it's been needed even more now because of the injury to Ellsbury. He's really picked up the slack not only in center field but also as the leadoff hitter for the Yankees.
See, if I look at a team, I think that Gardner is your leadoff hitter. Jacoby should be hitting down in the order a little bit more. I think Jacoby has a little more power.
It's a nice problem to have, though.
Yes, it is. Well, plus with the Yankees lineup, they have so many switch hitters that they can go left, right, switch hitter, left, right. It helps out a lot, especially with guys who are power guys.
Down the left field line and into the 200 level here at Yankee Stadium. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back toward the middle, off the mound, a base hit it to center field. Rounding third is Gregorius. He'll score. Speeding to third is Pirela. It's now 3-0 Yankees on the RBI single by Gardner. Well, just as Murph said, got to somehow figure out a way to get this guy out. And they did for the first 2 at-bats, but not right there. An RBI single.
Not sure if it was a cutter. Chooch wanted it inside. Almost looked like it was a 2-seamer that came back out over the plate. Whatever it was, came up with another big hit versus the Phillies.
Well, now the Phils will play the infield at double play depth as they have runners on first and third. They're already down 3-0 here in the 4th inning. Ground ball to third. That's a fair ball, and it goes off the glove of Blanco into foul territory. 1 run is in. Gardner will be held. It's now 4-0 Yankees on top. Well as the Phillies have played over the last several days, that's how poorly they're playing right now.
See the head's down. Just missed it. He didn't get the glove down far enough. Broken bat. Kind of stabbed at it, getting the glove down early.
Well, they've scored that a double and an RBI. Second and third, Alex Rodriguez the batter. Over to third again, another chance for Blanco. He knocks it down. The runners hold up. And Alex Rodriguez strolling up the first base line is an easy target, so 1 away. Andres already has an error today on a 1-hop throw to the plate earlier in the game. I think he probably could have gotten charged with another error on that one by Chase Headley.
Yeah, I do too. And it'd be a little different story if that ball was actually scalded to third base.
Like Franco's last night.
Right.
Well, here's Teixeira, who's 1 for 2. Threw him a cutter. It's 0-1. There's Darren Ruff, just added to the roster again today after a few at-bats down in AAA. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a bloop out toward right. It's going to drop in front of Dominic Brown and knocks it down. 1 run is in, and that's all the Yankees will get. They lead it 5-0. Don't forget, this inning began with a pop-up to shortstop that Freddie Galvis lost in the sun. Conceivably, this inning could be over with. In fact, should be. But 3 runs are in the bottom of the 4th. And Carlos Beltran will be the hitter. Popped up right side. Cesar Hernandez, he's got the angle on this one, makes the catch, and 2 outs. And Headley goes back to third. Back to first base is Teixeira. Phillies fans, next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Phillies.com. Chris Young is 1 for 2 in this afternoon's ball game. He singled his first time up, scored a run, flied out to left field his last time. Change up low. Cole just doesn't have one of his pitches to, one pitch that he can rely on. A lot of times it's just the changeup, but he doesn't have total command of that either.
No, he hasn't had control of his fastball. We haven't seen a whole lot of 2-seamers. His changeup's been missing down in the zone a lot.
Well, that time he gets him to swing at it, and it's 1-1.
You'd like to get Cole go as deep as you can because the bullpen's been worn out a little bit. But the nice thing is they have a day off tomorrow.
Yeah, the starters have gone 4 2/3 and 4 1/3 in this series. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Young, and he fouls it back to our right.
That's one thing about the Yankees today, too. They have fouled off a lot of pitches. A lot of pretty good pitches from Cole. Fouling them off, keep on battling to put yourself in a situation where you might get a better pitch to hit.
Out towards short. That one spins on one hop to Galvis, and the inning is over. Fielder's choice. 3-run score for the Yankees. They leave a couple. We'll go to the 5th inning. And the Phils have some work to do, down 5-0. holds the all-time record for most home runs by a switch hitter.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing. Jeep Stump the Fans. We've gotten to see a lot of videos of Mickey Mantle. Obviously, we've seen a lot of them over the years, but a lot of videos here during this series on Mickey Mantle. There's some pretty cool stuff that they were showing the last couple of days. Chipper Jones with 468 career home runs. He was the most recent guy that I think folks thought could eventually, possibly, catch Mickey Mantle. Hard to do that. Before that, it's probably Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray finished with 504 career home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cody Ashe here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll be Ashe, Ruiz, Galvis against Ivan Nova. Toward the hole, Perella to his left, and 1 out. I think this guy's been better than advertised for the Yankees. Coming back from Tommy John surgery. Had the Tommy John surgery at the end of April last year. And has worked his way back. He looks exactly the same physically. Because sometimes guys get a little chunkier. He certainly doesn't look like he put on a whole lot of weight, but he physically looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
Well, and I think a lot has to do with his delivery. It's a very simple delivery, like I said. He does not all herky-jerky. Nice, easy flow motion. Fastball comes up pretty good.
One ball, no strikes. And Carlos takes strike 1. It's even. Back toward the middle. Gregorius has it, and behind the second base bag. Boy, so fluid. 2 outs. Well, speaking of Yankee greats, it's time to take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. A lot of people think it begins and ends with this guy right here, Babe Ruth. The .342 career average, 714 home runs. He also won 94 games on the mound with a 2.28 ERA. Imagine what his record would have been if he stayed a pitcher. He probably would have been a Hall of Famer. Inducted the first class in 1936. There's Freddie Galvis, 0 for 1. He flied to left his first time up.
Listen, he had more home runs in one season than the whole league combined.
Must have been a strong fella.
For a weak league.
Must have been that too. Three, you know. That one's over. And ball 4. Galvis, I think, thought that might have been a strike. So he draws a walk. Second walk issued by Nova. And back to the top of the order for Ben Revere. He's maintained his velocity too. That was at 93. Now he has hit 95 on a couple of different occasions. That was early on, and he still can do it. Joe Girardi said today that the key for him was command. He has had that. That pitch right there, which has been decent today. It hasn't been spectacular. It's been decent. That's his curveball. They say in a couple of his rehab starts that wasn't as sharp as they would have liked. There's a loop out towards center field. Gardner comes running in, and he makes the catch down toward his knees. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. One man left for the Phils. They've left 4. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. The Yankees up 5-0. Champions in Action program is a unique program that rewards small organizations that create big changes in the community. To learn about Champions in Action and how to get involved, visit citizensbank.com/community. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better. So the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Well, with Matt Stairs and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy, live from Yankee Stadium. Yankees on top 5-0. The Phillies have taken the first 2 games of this series. And as we start the bottom of the 5th, John Ryan Murphy will lead things off. And the pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes. He's walked and scored. He's also gone down on strikes, looking to the right side into that vacant hole. Cole Hamels not pleased. He just turned around and said, well, was wondering where Cesar Hernandez was. He's not happy right now about that shift.
No, they see Cesar playing up the middle. Not very happy with the shift going on.
That's all about the spray charts. That's why they have them aligned that way, whether it's right or wrong. Gregorius waves at the first pitch.
But even though you're not happy with the way your defense is lined up, you still have to control your emotions and not show nobody up.
Absolutely.
Anyone up.
Yeah, it hasn't been totally clean behind him today. I mean, you can just watch the game and you know that. He hasn't been totally clean either. One ball, 1 strike. The infield a double play depth. a tough guy to double up. They will get the lead runner. So the putout goes 4-6. Fielder's choice. And one away for Jose Pirela. Bullpen action. DeFreitas, he's been up a few times in this series. I think Tony Pena thought that may have been a balk. Hamels has been called for a couple. Fly ball center field. Ben Revere comes running in. Not that deep. And he puts it away for the second out. Get major news and weather that impacts your day without commercials for 20 minutes straight. Weekdays at 4 p.m. NBC 10. Count on it. Well, Brett Gardner had an RBI single his last time up and came around to score a run. Pulled off of that changeup, and it's even 1 ball and 1 strike. Probably the last inning for Hamels. In fact, it is going to be the last innings at 98 pitches. The rotation is going to remain the same. Nobody's going to be skipped with the off day tomorrow. Another swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Yankees, meanwhile, will head on the road. They'll take on Houston for 4 games, and then they'll be out in Anaheim to take on the Angels for 3 games. Their off day is next Thursday, the 2nd of July. Although Joe Girardi has a half day here today. He was ejected earlier in the game. Runner goes. Pitch is hit back toward the middle. Galvis has got it behind the second base bag in time to get Brett Gardner. That's a fine play by Freddie Galvis. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We'll move to the 6th inning. Phil's looking for a little offense from 2, 3, and 4.
wins with absolute confidence. Just over a year from his major league debut, Giles has taken the ball and fired his way into solidifying the 8th inning role. His career ERA hovers around 1.5, and he's setting things up for Jonathan Papelbon, who is closing the door with the best of them. The all-time Phillies saves leader has been nearly perfect in save situations over the last calendar year. His ERA is among the best in the closer category, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
Well, Cole Hamels chatting with Bob McClure in the dugout, and his day is probably complete after 5 innings. We go to the top of the 6th. He trails at 5-0. And for the Phils, Cesar Hernandez will lead it off. Boy, if you're the Yankees, you have to be ecstatic with what you're getting today by Ivan Nova. From the Phillies standpoint, you're hoping that the next start for Hamels, he can fine-tune some things and get that sharpness back. That'll be a home game at Citizens Bank Park. Out to center field. A lot of fly ball outs today. Brett Gardner has been one of the busier guys. And one away here in the 6th. Here's Maikel Franco. Franco hitting .315 on the year since the 2nd of June. He has 34 hits. He's hitting .415. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. He's the first Phillies rookie since Buzz Arlett to have 10 home runs in his first 37 games.
You know, Tom, earlier I was talking about he's got to learn how to say no.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is sometimes when things are going very well, every TV station, every paper, people you've never seen before want to do interviews with you. It becomes a distraction at times. So you got to maintain your work habit and not try to please everyone else.
That one's out towards center. Gardner will settle under it and makes the catch. 2 outs. Well, I think he's handled it well, but I understand what you're saying, particularly when you have a last place team. And he is, you know, at least for the time being, and he could be moving forward. Everybody hopes that. He's the guy right now. He's the guy that's grabbing the attention. So you want to talk to him. I know we do. The ball's 1 strike to Ryan Howard. Inside, 1-1. That one's hit out towards center again. Gardner got turned around, but he finds it. So he's made all 3 putouts. In fact, he's made the last 4 for Ivan Nova, who works a 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning. Phillies go down quietly, and we will move to the bottom of the 6th. local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEF now or visit jefferson.edu. And by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. Last of the sixth inning, the Phillies will go to their bullpen. Jake Diekman, who worked a couple innings in the first game of this series, will come on to face Chase Headley, Alex Rodriguez, and Mark Teixeira. So Cole Hamels done after 5. He scatters 8 hits and 5 runs. Diekman's numbers on the year: 5.68 earned run average. For the bullpen, 8 2/3 in this series so far. Last night it was scoreless. They allowed 1 inherited runner to score. The day before that, they gave up 3 earned runs. Diekman actually got the win in game 1 of the series. His 2 innings were huge. Oh, and 2. Ground ball toward the hole, off the glove of Blanco into shallow left field, and Headley's aboard with his second hit of the afternoon. And Alex Rodriguez has been hit by a pitch. He's walked and he's grounded out to third. Will be the batter. To Rodriguez. Oh, and 2. Apparently they made progress in Alex Rodriguez getting his 3,000th hit, the baseball back, from the fan who caught it out in right center field.
What's the price tag up to now?
Well, a donation to a charity in the gentleman's name. Now they're still negotiating. They said they have one more phone call left to be done. But a donation to a specific charity in the gentleman's name, and then a bunch of merchandise and some other perks that the Yankees are going to throw in. Apparently there will be no other money exchange, though, as he alluded to when he caught the ball. And this is the reason why it's a value, because there's only 3 guys who have 3,000 hits and more than 600 home runs. And he is one of them. Even with all the baggage that comes along with him. It's a crowded room with Alex Rodriguez now in it. He spins that one foul.
I would think that the charitable donation in his name better be a very good one, because that baseball would be worth a lot of money.
Line drive, base hit into left center field. Ashe will get to it. Headley stops at second. And the Yankees have first and second with nobody out here in the 6th. And Teixeira is coming up. Yankees commit to this ball game 6th in the league in batting average, 6th in the American League, 2nd in home runs, 2nd in runs. And today they have 10 hits, 5 runs on 10 hits. Porter, who ejected Joe Girardi earlier, says no swing for Mark Teixeira. Robbie Thompson is the bench coach. He is the acting manager today. Popped up. Infield fly rule. If it's fair, will be called. And there it is. And one away.
Good location on that fastball. Teixeira likes to get those arms extended. Pretty much off the pine tar. Teixeira dives hard into the plate. He does. He dives.
Oh, he dives. Matt, by the way, you know, the Marco Estrada no-hit bid into the 8th inning. You mentioned he did that his last time out too. First time as Ruiz is crossed up on that pitch. First time that's happened in Major League Baseball since 1988 that a pitcher has taken consecutive starts, taking a no-hitter into consecutive starts into the 8th inning. 1988, a fellow or former Toronto Blue Jay did it. This guy,
Dave Steve.
Dave Steve. People used to say that every time he went out, it was like Jack Morris. People thought he could throw a no-hitter every time he went out.
And never threw one.
Never threw one.
Threw like 15 one-hitters.
Down and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
I thought I might have got a bell for the Dave Steve answer.
I was impressed that you were able to jump on it right that fast.
Thank you.
There you go. Log back on to Phillies.com. Two balls and 1 strike. Some great stories, you know, from the Phillies standpoint. Obviously, the Jays trained in Dunedin and still do. The Pope, Paul Owens, that story going around every year. He tried to somehow get Dave Steve from the Toronto Blue Jays if he could. And this was even before Dave Steve became Dave Steve, like the quality pitcher that he was. That ball, man, that ball would sink that he used to throw. Fly ball to right field. Dominic Brown wanders under it. And there are 2 outs here in the 6th. Photo night presented by Apple Vacations and Now Resorts and Spas will take place on Saturday, July 18th at 7:05. It's all part of the Marlins series. Come out early, take photos with your favorite Phillies player. You also get a free magnetic photo frame. All fans get that. Again, Apple Vacations Photo Night presented by Now Resorts and Spas. So 2 outs, and here's Chris Young. Young is 1 for 3. He singled, scored, flat out to left, fielder's choice his last time up. And he takes outside and high, 1 ball, no strikes. That one is blooped over the head of Hernandez into right field. Headley's heading home, and Dominic Brown won't have a play. It's 6-0 Yankees on top. Chris Young has 2 hits in this game, 5 hits in the series. That's his second RBI in this series.
It wasn't that bad of a location of the pitch either. Sometimes those pitches up in the zone have a tendency to bloop in for base hits. Fastball inside, had some late movement on it. Strong enough to bloop it out in right field.
John Ryan Murphy chops one foul. It's no balls and 2 strikes into the Phillies dugout. Former second-round pick by the New York Yankees out of Bradenton, Florida. He was at the IMG Academy. Jamie's 2 boys went to school there. He was scheduled to go to the University of Miami when the Yankees drafted him in the 2nd round. Got to work on the number, though. I know they're running out of numbers here with the Yankees, but you got to work on something other than number 66.
Probably the number he had in spring training.
It was.
Figured I'll keep it. It was good luck. Got to the big leagues with it.
Well, he strikes out for the 2nd time, but the Yankees do get a run against Diekman on 3 base hits. They leave a couple and will lead for the 7th. Hits today for the Phils. Ryan Howard, a double to right center. Ben Revere had the other hit. Cole Hamels went 5 innings, allowed 8 hits and 5 earned runs, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Ivan Nova's really been the story here today. The Yankees offense, yes, getting 6 runs. But Nova has been able to quiet a Phillies offense that hasn't been all that quiet the last 3 days. And he stays in the ball game as we start the top of the 7th inning. And we'll face Dominic Brown, Andres Blanco, and Cody Ashe. He'll start this inning with 78 pitches. Joe Girardi, who is no longer in the dugout after being ejected from the game earlier, said before the ball game in his meetings with the New York writers that 95 was probably what they hoped for. That's a fair ball, and Nova couldn't hold on. Dominic Brown will be safe at first. I would think that has to be an E1.
Absolutely. He just tries to tag too quick, and I realize that he has more time. Catching the ball first and then tagging. Plus he looked up right there.
Well, Girardi also said today that he's got to keep his emotions in check. That's the first time that we've seen his emotions not in check. Keep an eye on it to see how it affects him as he moves forward here to face Andres Blanco, who's 0 for 2. I mean, this has been a fairly comfortable outing for him, and he has not been pressured at all.
And he's flyouts. He's had 9 flyouts, 9 pretty easy fly balls, and 6 groundouts.
One ball, one strike. I'm telling you, we stayed here longer, we'd get a ball. That one went into the booth next to it, the press box. If it bounced properly, it could have bounced right to Todd Zolecki of Phillies.com or Craig Hubner from the Phillies PR staff. I don't know what they would have done with it. One ball, one strike. Fly ball. Foul territory. Headley, shading his eyes from the sun, makes the catch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser is still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Well, here's Ashe. He's 0 for 2. He's popped out and grounded out. Good outside. One ball, one strike. Off the end of the bat, Squibber toward third. Headley, bare hands, and can't hang on. And the Phillies will have 2 on now with 1 man down here in the 7th.
That is such a pretty knock, especially when things aren't going real well today. The big swing and bunt. Perfect location. Didn't matter if Chase come up with that ball or not. Cody Ashe was going to be safe at first base. Tom, just some days you need those hits like that.
I would think they're somewhat refreshing when you're not going all that well.
And I'm going to go back and fix something I said earlier. Dave Steve did throw a no-hitter September 2nd, 1990.
Oh, did he really? Okay.
I stand corrected.
I was going with it. Carter's lead off first and second. Inside to Ruiz. It's 1-0. This may be the final batter for Nova. He's at 87 pitches. He did not go into the 7th inning in his 3 rehab starts. Let's see, baseball, ice cream sandwich, baseball, ice cream sandwich. Let's see if I can get both.
I'd pick the ice cream right now, Tom.
I think I might be along with you on that one. It's not a bad pitch. It's taken low. It's 3-1. Brian O'Nora does not have the friendliest strike zones, but it's been consistent. Galvis waits on deck. Three balls, one strike. Fly ball, right field. Beltran out toward the track, has room, makes the catch. Brown tags from second, and that'll put runners on first and third with two men down. And Freddie Galvis is coming up. And that looks like it's going to be it for Ivan Nova. Rob Thompson is coming out. He's got Brian Mitchell warming up in the bullpen. So at 91 pitches, that could be it for Ivan Nova. His first major league start since April of last year. And he's going to get a nice round of applause from this large crowd here at Yankee Stadium. A little tip of the cap. Well, I don't know if any of us have gone through the injury that he went through, but that's got to be a very satisfying walk to the dugout. The big league since April of last year when he had Tommy John surgery.
He went out and he basically threw strikes. He allowed his defense to play behind him. At times had a very good curveball. Well, I noticed today he had very late movement with his two-seamer. Had a lot of weak fly balls in the outfield. A lot of ground balls up in front of home plate. So all in all, he's going to be very happy. The Yankees have to be very happy. The fans, the organization, everyone, that he's back. And he lasted 6 2/3.
6 2/3. 13 of his outs were fly balls. A couple of them were on the infield, but most of them were fly balls to either Gardner in center field or to Beltran in right field. Chris Young had a couple putouts out and left. So Brian Mitchell will be the new pitcher with two men down, and Freddie Galvis will be the hitter. Galvis waves at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Mitchell was added to this roster after game 1 of the series. Those are his numbers down in the minor leagues this year. 4-5 with a 2.79 ERA, 13 starts. Just got to the point where they just needed some arms. Didn't matter if he was a reliever or a starter. Way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, that's the scuttering report right there. He usually maxes out at 96 miles an hour. Pitch before that, he threw a changeup. Don't even have that on the scuttering report. So that must be something that he's been working on down the minor leagues. Curveball and a cut fastball.
Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Galvis is retired. Kind of overmatched here in the 7th inning by Brian Mitchell. And we're going to stretch here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees comfortably on top 6-0. We'll be back with the bottom of the 7th right after this. At Citizens Bank Park, the family pack is 4 tickets, 4 Hatfield Philly Franks, and 4 Cokes for $100. It's a great value for all families. What are your tickets? Check out the schedule by going to Phillies.com. Oh, we wander into the bottom of the 7th inning here at Yankee Stadium with the Phillies down 6-0. Yankees with 6 runs on 11 hits. It's been throughout the order. The bottom of the order has done some damage, though. Phillies have not played a clean game. I mean, on the board, you can see that there's only 1 error listed, but there have been a handful of misplays all across the board. Justin DeFreitas will be the 3rd pitcher. He'll take over for Diekman. Diekman won an inning, allowed 1 run on 3 hits. And Justin in his 33rd game. 36 strikeouts and 35 innings of work. Cole Hamels went 5 today, allowed 8 hits and 5 runs. And including today, the Phillies starters have thrown fewer than 6 innings, 35 of the 74 games this year. In fact, including all 3 games in this series against the Yankees, and they still have won 2 of them. balls, no strikes to Gregorius. Nate Eovaldi warming up in the bullpen, one of the Yankees starting pitchers. There's ball 4.
I gotta believe that Nate Eovaldi is thrown aside right now.
Think so?
Yeah, he was probably just the
long man in case Nova had trouble.
It was his bullpen day.
It's been banged around a little bit. Here's Pirela, who's playing for Stephen Drew. Drew is on paternity leave. Fly ball center field. Ben Revere on the run. Not a good sign when his back is to the infield. He'll play it off the wall. Read perfectly by Gregorius. And he's going to score an RBI double for Pirela. 7-0 Yankees on top. Excellent base running by Gregorius.
No, like you said, Tom, very good base running. Realizing that Ben Revere is going with the numbers away from you. Take off.
Well, Gregorius has scored 2 runs this afternoon. In fact, the bottom 3 hitters have 4 runs scored in this game. They've also been on base 9 times. Nine times counting Gregorius as fielder's choice. On the outside corner, it's 0-2. Now a conversation between Ruiz and DeFreitas. Check swing. Did he go? Nope. And the count 2-2. Back to the screen. Gardner stays alive. Boy, he's taking some good swings.
Gardner's frustrated on that one because it was supposed to be a fastball inside. Tailed back in the middle of the plate. Those are the ones you usually do not miss when you're swinging the bat wall.
3 balls and 2 strikes. And Gardner draws a walk. Second walk issued by DeFreitas. And that puts runners on first and second. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much. It was presented by St. Joseph's University. I thought this would be a pretty good story for the Notebook today. Mariano Rivera III made his professional debut the other night in Single A. And just like his father, he came out to the music Enter Sandman. And it certainly to the delight of the crowd down there in Auburn in Single A. First inning, that he pitched was the 6th inning. He struck out 1. The next inning, he allowed 2 hits, but struck out the side, just like his dad, doing some good things with the fastball, guys. And also, Jason Kipnis, did you see this story? The Cleveland Indians, base hit today for him. 28th straight game at Progressive Field that he has gotten a hit. A 28-game hit streak at home is a new record. Currently riding a 19-game hit streak on his own, but 28 straight at home for Jason Kipnis. He is currently the AL leader in batting average as well, so quite a season for him in Cleveland. Guys?
Great season. Great turnaround for him. I mean, this is a kid who's got an awful lot of talent, but hitting .354 on the year. He's got a very odd setup. It's kind of like the Grichuk kid that we saw the other day, but from the left side of the plate. Last year he hit .240. He's hitting 114 points better this year than last year. There's a strike. It's 2-1. Murph, I believe he's on pace for 225 hits if he keeps this one going.
Yes, that would be pretty remarkable.
He's at 98 right now.
28 straight games at home. That's pretty impressive.
Three walks in the inning for Justin DeFreitas. Bases are now loaded. Bob McClure is coming out, and Alex Rodriguez is coming up. Well, Matt, that's 6 walks in today's ball game for Phillies pitching. 3 by Cole Hamels, 3 now by DeFreitas in 1 inning. I think the thought was to try to get through this game, the rest of this game, with just Justin DeFreitas, but he's got nobody out and the bases loaded.
Yeah, and you'd like to see him be a little more aggressive in the strike zone. Seems like he's nibbling a little bit. Some of the pitches that he's missing with are just missing, and they're just missing low and away.
Yeah, he made a big deal a few weeks ago about, just kind of clearing his head and just being aggressive, just going right after the hitter. But I'm with you. I think he's been nibbling here in this outing. And now he's got to be careful with Alex Rodriguez coming up. You're down 7-0 though. No balls, 1 strike. That'll go out of play, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rodriguez.
lot of the mechanics with hitting and pitching is the exact same. Hitter, you want to keep that right shoulder in or left shoulder in as long as possible. DeFreitas gets into trouble once in a while when that left shoulder opens up too early. And that's the reason why he continues to miss away to lefties and into right-handers. Slow down the upper body motion. Throw through the glove.
Is that better?
It was a little better, but he still missed the spot. He wanted to have the fastball away.
Right.
Keep that shoulder in as long as possible, but right there, how it just kind of pulls open
and
with that front shoulder.
Yeah, it went fast.
That's why that ball's moving into a righty, and like I said, away from left-handers.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Rodriguez. And he loops it into left field. That'll drop for a hit. 2 runs will score. 9-0. Yankees on top. Alex Rodriguez with 2 hits here this afternoon. He's walked once. He's been hit by a pitch. And still nobody out. And still nobody warming up in the bullpen.
It's supposed to be a slider.
Cement mixer.
You know, and it just spun. He didn't have that downhill tilt that he wanted to.
Well, a decent spot on that one. That one gets away from Ruiz, goes into the crowd. The runners will advance 1 bag. Well, we have seen the wheels come off in previous games this year. The wheels have rattled right on off the axles in this one.
Well, get it all out of the way. Regroup and come back on Friday.
Really? Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Well, so much for a perfect game. It was so perfect they wanted to play more. Top of the 12th inning. Blue Jays and the Rays scoreless. 2-2.
I like the fact that the infield's playing in.
Ground ball toward that infield, off the glove of Hernandez. 1 run will score. A-Rod goes to third. It's 10-0.
And I was going to say the reason why is because you play the infield in, and a ground ball like that, if you can make the play, you're not going to score a run. But if the infield's playing back, so this is where you try to protect the 9-0 lead, but you're also trying to help the pitcher out with his ERA. You see what that's where the infield's playing in.
And over.
And over. And this hits a little chopper up the middle. So you're trying to help your pitcher out as much as possible from scoring more runs with your ERA. And you're trying to keep it a 9-0 game.
Best laid plans, Matt Stairs. Best laid plans.
Unfortunately, if the infield is playing back, you'd have an out, but it'd still score a run.
Beltran fouls it back to the screen, so he's behind 0-2. And a call, strike 3. Beltran down looking. He didn't seem all too pleased about that call. It looked like a pretty good pitch. And now Chris Young. Look out, everybody. Don't worry, the ball boy is down there to field it. Rodriguez went to the ground. Espada went to the ground. Popped him up. Cesar Hernandez is there and makes the catch. So 2 outs. The 9th man to bat in the inning will be coming up for the Yankees. NBC 10 News at 4, the only station with 20 minutes of non-stop news weekdays at 4 p.m. NBC 10. Count on it. It's coming up shortly. Ball, 1 strike. One and 2.
It's a good pitch. Come on, Brian. Nora, open up the zone up just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tight strike zone for most of the day. It didn't affect Nova, though.
He's always been a very good offensive umpire.
2 and 2. Swing and a miss, and the inning is finally over. Couple strikeouts in the inning for DeFreitas, but he allows 4 runs. He leaves 2. We'll go to the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies down 10-0. by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Top half of the 8th inning, the Phillies trail at 10-0. And Ben Revere will lead it off against Brian Mitchell. On in relief of Ivan Nova. Phillies took the first 2 games of this series. Had a little trouble getting to this one. First pitch is over. It's 0-1. But we talked about it on Sunday. If they can have it in their mind to win every series.
Yep.
And they've taken the first step. They look like they still had a good time today. Ben is 1 for 3. One for 3 and 10 for 19 during his limited career here at Yankee Stadium. I was wondering where that ball went. It was just in front of the plate.
So you're saying the ball's not carrying that?
No, I don't think so. It's carrying last night. Off the mound, skips right out toward Gregorius. And he throws him out for the first out here in the 8th inning. So 1 away. And that'll bring Cesar Hernandez to the plate. Cesar is 0 for 2. He walked his second time up. Phillies came into this ballgame 13 games out in the National League East. The Nationals lead is up to 2.5 right now in the division. They've won 4 straight. The Mets have lost 6 straight. Mets were 13-3 at one point. I mentioned this last night to start the year. And since that time, they're 23-33. But still within 2.5 games.
Right.
Braves are 1 game under 500. At 35-36. And the Marlins have cooled off a little bit. One is off the foot of the catcher. It shoots over toward the Yankee dugout. I think got a piece of Brian O'Nora, and it's 2-1.
Well, Tom, we've talked about the bullpen being used a lot.
Yep.
This series so far. Coming into the bottom of the 8th, 256 pitches has been thrown by the relievers.
In this series?
This series, 256.
I saw you fooling around with your numbers over there. Is that what you're figuring out?
Yes, sir.
Well, DeFreitas certainly threw his share in this game today. Looks like he's going to be back out there because there's nobody else warming up right now. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. We have an update from Tampa Bay. The Blue Jays on a Chris Calabello home run have defeated the Rays 1-0. How about that kid?
What a story.
39-35 now are the Blue Jays, so they are 2.5 games out. He's a tremendous story. Let go by the Twins, picked up by the Blue Jays, and has basically made a name for himself and has pushed himself into the starting lineup. Crazy. And now Maikel Franco. Pop foul behind home plate, out of play. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Over the mound, and Perella around the second base bag, and his side is retired. So 1-2-3 inning. Phillies go down quietly in their half of the 8th inning. Nice job by Mitchell, an inning and a third scoreless, and now we'll move to the bottom of the 8th inning. The game. Now, this isn't the prettiest of deliveries here today. We said it was a sloppy game for the Phillies, Matt.
It was. You had a situation here. Whitey Blanco tried to make a barehanded play. He just doesn't get a good enough grip on the throw. Gets away from Ruiz and allows 2 runs to score. And unfortunately, that's your W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
It's really the only runs they've needed today. Gregorius sends the first pitch from DeFreitas into shallow right field. Dominic Brown makes the catch, 1 away. Changes for the Phils. You see Odubel Herrera out there next to Dominic Brown. He takes over in center field. Ben Revere's day is done. And Darren Ruff, just up from AAA, comes into the ball game to play first. Yeah, this game, there's only one error for the Phillies, but there's been a handful of misplays. Perella takes a strike. It's 0-1.
There's been 3 plays that you wish you had back in the game. You know, usually there's 1 play, but today the 2 ground balls, the third, and the sun ball.
Yeah, the sun ball turned out to be a double.
Yep.
By D. Gregorius in the 4th inning that went out toward Freddie Galvis. He just didn't see it. Over to third, and Blanco's not having a great day. That ball was hit pretty hard. Every ball that you've seen go off the glove, go off the body of Blanco, the errant throw, those are all plays that you would normally see him make.
And it seems like he's getting caught in that big hop in between. It's one if you want to charge or you want to step back a little bit. Right there, it's the top pin, the top spin, 2 bouncer. Goes off the heel of the glove.
Yeah, if he had come up and fielded it on that hop, which Franco may have if he was over third. Here's Gardner. 15 hits now for the Yankees. Blanco will give that a peek, but it's out of play. Two balls, 1 strike. Gardner scored a couple runs today. He has scored 6 runs in this series alone. Balls, 2 strikes. Fastball on the outside corner.
Every strike that's called on Gardner, he questions. Every strike. Good way to learn the strike zone more.
Can't question that one. And there are 2 outs. Well, the Phillies still have interleague games to be played against the Tampa Bay Rays, 20th, 21st, 22nd of July. Then they're in Toronto. They'll also host the Blue Jays the 18th and 19th of August, and at Boston in the month of September. So still games to be played against teams within the American League East. They've already won this series. First time in a couple years that they've won a series. Several years they've won a series against the American League. That one's chopped foul. Mentioned an off day tomorrow, and then they're back home again. Pretty light travel schedule for the Phils, coming up here for 3 and then going back home. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1, 2, 3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. One ball, 2 strikes. Chase Headley, the batter. He's had a good day, decent series, 5 hits. Outside, 2-2. This is a 58 pitch outing for Justin DeFreitas. Man. Darren Ruff backs up on it.
Take it yourself.
3-1 on the putout. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. 13 runners left on base for the Yankees today. No big deal at all because they lead at 10-0 over the Phils with 1 last chance. Through the 10th, 4 nights accommodations, brunch with the Phillies announcers, a tour of Petco Park, tickets to all 3 games in San Diego, custom Phillies road trip polo shirt. Tickets can be purchased or information can be had by calling 877-833-7326 or by going to Phillies.com/PhilliesVacations. Diego Moreno will be the new pitcher for the Yankees. And Ryan Howard will be the leadoff batter. There's Marino. Behind him you see Garrett Jones, number 33. He'll take over at first base. Garrett Jones. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Opposite way, down the left field line, foul. He's had 2 of those this series that have just gone fouled on the left field line. Other one was caught near the fence in left field.
Which is nice to see because he's letting the ball get deep, going into his power swing.
That one is lined into right field, a base hit going to the corner, and Howard's on his way to second base. And Ryan will be there with his second double of the day, 17 overall, and that's only the 4th hit for the Phillies this afternoon. Dominic Brown reached on an error his last time up, flied out to center, grounded out to first. First pitch is on the inside corner. It's 0-1.
I would love to see Dominic Brown get a hold of one.
He's kind of hoping the same thing with Ryan Howard, into that porch and right, see how far they can go.
I think Dominic Brown could go 4th tier.
1, 2, 3. You count the sweet level as 3?
Yes.
That's a shot.
Jeffrey Beam.
That one's going to be in for a base hit to right center field. Howard around third. He'll score. Be an RBI single for Dominic Brown, and the Phillies are finally on the board here this afternoon. It's 10-1. Dominic with his second RBI since being brought back from the minor leagues. And Andres Blanco, who's 0 for 3. Ryan Murphy going out to chat with Diego Marino. A reminder, we'll be back on Friday when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals, 7 o'clock on Comcast Sportsnet. Back home for a 3-game series. There's the matchup, Aaron Harang against Max Scherzer. Well, Sean O'Sullivan's counting his blessings because he has faced Scherzer 3 times already this year. Scherzer coming off his no-hitter. Out toward right center field. Pretty well hit. Beltran going back. It is off the base of the wall. Dominic Brown will hold up at third. It's a double for Andres Blanco. And with nobody out, the Phils have second and third. And Larry Rothschild heading out to the mound. And Cody Ashley's coming up. This is a heck of a swing right here by Blanco.
It is. He's been doing this all year. Finish is high. I like the finish. It's the base of the wall. So what is 8th double of the year?
That would be double number 8.
Second.
As a regular player.
Regular player.
Yeah. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ashley today has reached on an infield hit, a little dribbler up the third base line. He's also grounded out and popped out. So 1 for 3. Changeup had some movement on it, didn't it?
Yeah, this has been his best pitch. We've seen him twice so far in this series, and his fastball has been getting hit hard. But his changeup's one really that's a swing and miss pitch.
So he comes back with here with the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off the end of the bat again. Over to third. Headley has it. Run will score. Throw is in time. An RBI for Cody Ashley. It's a 10-2 ball game. 5-3 on the putout. It's remarkable. It's only the 9th RBI for Cody Ashley this year. Oh, that was awfully close. Did you see how that ball spun back?
Looked like it hit chalk just before the bag.
That was pretty close. Carlos asked for time, and it was granted. One ball, one strike. The pitch just tapped the inside corner. So Carlos is in the hole, 1-2. Over to the left side, Gregorius has a very friendly hop, and there are 2 outs. And Freddie Galvis is the final chance for the Phils here in the 9th inning. They trail at 10-2. They've scored both runs in this inning. Feels like the Phillies have been out of this game from the get-go, and the Yankees scored 2 in the 2nd inning. Cole Hamels was battling some command issues throughout the course of this ball game. He wound up walking 3, lasting just 5 innings. Ivan Nova, the starter for the Yankees, though, back for the first time since April. Well, he had everything going today that he needed to have going. Galvis is 0 for 2 with a walk. Thing I think we've both noticed during this series that the Yankees better score runs because this bullpen needs some help. I mean, look at all the pitchers that they've used during the course of this year. It's not a surprising statement to say that, but man, they've got all these youngsters and a lot of them are having a lot of trouble finding the strike zone. Do the Yankees have enough in their farm system to go out and get that help? Well, I guess that's the question. And Odubel Herrera will bat for the first time.
Well, and I think with a lot of the movements of up and down the minor leagues, pitchers are not finding their roles in their bullpen. They don't know if they're going to be a mop-up guy, a set-up guy, a closer. Well, we know who the closer is, but guys are in and out so much like a revolving door.
And Joe Girardi, who's been ejected from today's game and isn't around anymore, he said before the ball game today, he said, listen, that's not the way we want to play it.
No.
He said, we'd like to have some stability as far as the players on our roster. He said, but this is, the hand we've been dealt.
Well, and the bottom line is you're waiting for some pitchers to step up and take the ball and say, here, I'll be that guy.
Yeah, Andrew Miller is supposed to come back in the foreseeable future. Some folks think that he was overworked, which is the reason why he went on the disabled list the first time.
Well, and when Andrew Miller gets back, what it does is you have now a solid 8-9 guy.
Correct. No balls, 2 strikes to Herrera. What's left of the 45,877 coming to their feet. Yankees up 10-2. Swing and a miss, and the ball game is over. 2-run score in the 9th inning for the Phils, but they leave a couple as well. The day belonged to the Yankee pitchers. Ivan Nova, he went 6 2/3, allowed 3 hits and no runs. He gets the victory in his first game back since April of last year. The Yankees comfortably win this one going away. And Ivan Nova is our Chevrolet player of the game. And take a look at some of the things that he did here this afternoon for the Yankees.
Well, he threw very well. He threw a lot of strikes. That's the key for him. And the biggest thing coming back to first big league start since last year is put the ball in play. He had a lot of weak ground balls, a lot of weak fly balls throughout the game. And I think that had something to do with his nice, easy delivery, the movement of his ball. But really, it was not a lot of base runners today, but a lot of solid base hits. So the Yankees have to be very happy.
Well, he is our Chevrolet player of the game. He gets the victory this afternoon for the Yankees. They win it 10-2. We'll be back to New York to wrap things up right after this.